What's going on, YouTubers? Welcome to another video. I want to show you guys a few different things I have been working on. I am trying to perfect my man cave, and there's certain areas I feel are not yet quite perfected. One is my TV area. I've been trying to go through lots of different ideas, trying different displays. So what I've done is I've actually moved the two Magic cases and built a garage shelf, which allows a larger piece underneath. Showing you, for example, Godzilla vs. Kong. And then above is Red Sonja. Now, Red Sonja is an absolute grail, in my opinion, a very, very special statue. And I don't like tucking her down beneath and the side of a garage shelf. I like displaying the sword up high like that. And seeing her right there really makes me appreciate just how epic that statue truly is. Plus, being in this particular spot, you know, it's like this is meant for like a one-off. It really is. You got the DVD, the poster. It looks really freaking good. I really like it here, so I don't want to move it. I think it goes really good right there. Godzilla vs. Kong, or I'm sorry, Kong vs. Skullcrawler does go decent there. I would probably put him on the ground if I actually kept him there, but I do have other plans. Now, Caesar and Jack are here for now, but I do plan to most likely move them. What I'm trying to do is get away from any old school sideshow statues in this main theater room. I don't think they deserve it. I do think Jack and Caesar deserve to be here, but their companion One-Force don't. And for that reason alone, I want to move them to the hallway. Same thing with Star Wars. I'm thinking of selling off Kylo and Maul, only keeping Vader and putting it in the hallway. I just don't think I need the Vader in this room. You know, this room for me is, the theme truly is, you got Alien and Predator, horror, you got creatures, you know, vampires and werewolves, you got Medusa and Mummy, which I've moved right here, by the way, which I do like. And I also had a potential other idea for them as well, but they actually do fit here. Having Medusa go off and him go off a little bit, but they do fit and look good, and I think it fits theme-wise. Then this would all be Lord of the Rings. Ideally, I don't want to do a 1/4 scale up top like I have over here. However, Prime 1 Lord of the Rings are quite bigger, so I think it can compensate for that scale difference. So, what I'm thinking is I remove this Magic case, do a garage shelf, make this garage shelf higher, and I really don't want a mid-room garage shelf, to be honest. I know I've thought up the idea of Godzilla vs. Kong, and I really do need to try it. But at the end of the day, I would like to avoid it. Now, I've come up with lots of different ideas. And I want to show these to you guys. You know, for example, this is Jack in the hallway. He can actually fit right here perfectly fine with a, you know, like a poster above. I could do Indiana Jones beneath. Here is one Photoshop I've done showing if I did Caesar, Jack with the bust. The bust in 1/4 actually does fit inside that garage shelf. And I thought up, what if I got the ECC Cyclops, which is the same, you know, Greek mythological creature as Medusa. Medusa's not movie specific, neither would the bust be, but they both represent Greek mythology, Clash of the Titans. Same thing with the Mummy. This Mummy is not movie specific. Same with Anubis, but they both represent the Mummy and Egyptian mythology for me. And I really like the idea of doing those two busts, because I think they're both freaking fantastic looking busts. And I'd love to get that, but they're about close to $2,000 each. This one's $1,700, this one $1,900 shipped. And I can, you know, they're both in stock right now, and I think it would look really good. I don't know if I could fit the Cyclops, though, with Medusa, because the Cyclops is quite wide, 24 inches wide, 16-inch base diameter. So that's a maybe. I could definitely fit him because he has a tiny little base. But I do like this general idea of doing like that. And this looks good. And Caesar looks good there. Although, you know, Red Sonja looks freaking fantastic. Here is just to show you Indiana Jones. Here's another potential idea of what I'm thinking. So, and this isn't, you know, whatever, but the idea is to do Alita bust in 1/4, and her 1/4 is bigger, so it kind of makes it seem like it's almost 1/3-ish, really. When you look at it, you don't think it's 1/4. Do Pacific Rim underneath Red Sonja. I think that would be a great piece to go right there. And then right here is where we do Kong vs. Skullcrawler, Kong bust, Godzilla vs. Kong, and then that one would be Godzilla bust, and then above would be Terminator. And then I'd want to switch out for 1/3 scale and bust. No, I don't know about the half scale, because ideally I'd want to do just like the T1000, T800 with these two busts, the wall mounts above. But regardless, I'm definitely going to get at least a 1/3 Arnold, and I just Photoshop that, whatever. But even if I keep this display as is and I don't do the T1000, I've seen their Arnold pics, and I think it looks a lot better than the T1000, especially in the portrait. It's not the battle damaged version, but it does look really good, and I do want to buy it. Pending no one else comes out with a 1/3 Arnold, but I do want a 1/3 Arnold, you know, next to my bust here. I do love that 1/4, but it's just too small, and it's outdated. And I think the Dark Side one does look better than this one, even though it's not battle damaged. I could fit the 1/3 right there. I'm pretty confident. If I scoot that a little bit over, that a little bit over, I could do a 1/3 Arnold. But then you'd have a 1/3, a bust, a half scale, a bust. Not sure I necessarily want to do it like that. I could also technically move the half scale over there on the separate shelf and then do bust 1/3 bust. That would probably look a little bit better. So, I mean, I do want the T1000, but I'm not selling my half scale. I could technically do it mid-room, but I'm trying to avoid the mid-room shelf, if you know what I mean. I really just don't want a mid-room shelf. I'm really trying to avoid it at all possible costs. So this is just like a general mock-up, you know, showing you guys different ideas. By the way, that comedian is terrible. Hater. I like Jim Gaffigan, and we've already seen that. Here's another random idea, is if I did Terminator over here. You know, so like that's kind of the general idea, is bust 1/3, bust 1/3 with the two Pure Arts above. I think that looks really freaking cool. Pure Arts is also making an Arnold mask. Well, most likely, they said. It's not confirmed. But I think this could look really good as well. You know, to avoid doing 1/4 above. Although if you did that, you would probably have to do Sauron and Lurt's bust and whatnot right there. Which could work as well. You know, I really would love to do only 1/3 and bust up top, but it's very difficult. I mean, Sauron is so big alone, so it's hard with him. I've also thought of doing Sauron mid-room shelf, if I did a mid-room shelf, and moving Terminator over there. If I did Terminator over there, I can't fit the half scale, though. I've also thought of doing Godzilla vs. Kong top shelf with the bust underneath, so it's not all down low, but at least the dio's above. And even potentially doing like Mecha Godzilla. You know, let me show you like that. Like, what about even that right there? Potentially doing like all my dinosaurs and kaijus on this one wall. So, Mecha Godzilla, or you could do Endoskeleton, half scale. Godzilla vs. Kong, you know, and then Godzilla bust, Kong vs. Skullcrawler, Kong bust. I think that looks really good doing it like that. And then right there in those two garage shelves is where you do Mosasaurus, Indominus, Raptor bust, Raptor 1/6, Spinosaurus. I know Spinosaurus is a lot bigger, but the photo isn't big enough to Photoshop him in. And then on the other side of the wall, you do Blue and Dilophosaurus, and then have, you know, like the Vader and all the bust in one old school 1/4 in the hallway. I think this could look really good as well. But it does also immediately pose a problem for Red Sonja, you know, fitting her. And I really like her right there. I really like that. So I don't know if I want to move her again, because she deserves a spot like that. You know, and here's the, you know, an idea of like if I was to do Jack right there. You know, another thing. Oh, and here is another potential, thought. If I did all the dinosaurs over here, is I could do this. Medusa with Cyclops. She'd have more space top shelf. And then the mummy underneath. I wouldn't do those two. I would do that. And then possibly Jack Sparrow there and Vader there. That could work. Or even Caesar bust in 1/4 right there. I'm also potentially considering if I should sell Caesar. Now, don't get me wrong. I freaking love Planet of the Apes, and I do love Caesar. The reason I'd sell it is, A, I'm getting Kong bust, and I really don't need 2 monkey ape type busts. I really don't. I think that's excessive. I think I should only have 1. And since I'm already getting Godzilla bust, obviously I need Kong bust. So I would have to sell this one. In addition, if I keep Caesar right there, he doesn't look that great because he needs to be up high. Having him up high means Red Sonja has to go down low, and I like Red Sonja more than Caesar. Secondly, I could use the money for Marabust. If I sell Caesar with the 1/4, I could use that to buy Marabust because I need to fund Marabust. I can't just up and, spend house money on it. Wife won't allow that. So I gotta sell something, and I think Caesar would fund mostly Mara, not all of her, but enough to make it work. Now, I do really like this idea. I think of all my ideas, I like this one as well as this idea the most. The nice thing about doing all the kaiju and dinosaurs, it's all one theme, and I like that. But in this scenario, I get a lot of different themes, and it's separated by garage shelves. I get Godzilla vs. Kong, you got Terminator, Alita, Pacific Rim, Red Sonja, and then you go into dinosaurs, and then you'd have Star Wars, Pirates of the Caribbean in the hallway. So I like this one as well. I really like seeing Red Sonja right there. And in the other scenario, Red Sonja would have to go either there or in the hallway, and she definitely is not a hallway type statue. I don't want to put her there. I also really like the idea of doing the ECC bust with those two. I really do. I think that looked great. I always thought, man, if I could somehow get a Lord of the Rings statue room, and then in those 2 big garage shelves, do those 2 with the ECC busts, and then probably do Pan's Labyrinth actually right here and there. Do Pale Man, and then the Fawn 1/3 and bust, and then where I have Pan's Labyrinth now is where I could do Leatherface, Ghostface, and maybe even just PCS Pumpkinhead or something, on the horror wall. I think that looks so freaking good. But my wife won't allow me to make our upstairs bedroom a statue room. She'd kill me. So unfortunately, that can't happen. But should the day come I have an extra statue room, I will definitely make a Lord of the Rings only room. Like, let's say if I ever move, I think I'd do a Lord of the Rings room. I think it's definitely well worth it, and I'd make it look so epic. For now, I do have to deal with the space I have, though, and not think I'll get another house, especially because housing prices are getting so expensive in Utah. It's not even funny. My house I paid $200,000 for, now goes for almost $600,000. Think about that. So yeah, that is a massive mortgage. If I was to buy a newer house that was bigger, it'd cost me probably $800,000 to $1 million. I'm like, yay. Anyways, I wanted to, get your guys' opinion on this display. Let me know what you think. Which one do you like the most? Now, I do like and prefer this general look versus the double-stacked Magic case. Because the double-stacked Magic case kind of cluttered that general area. And I didn't think it was worth it. I liked having Caesar up high. I didn't mind having, like, Indiana Jones there, because I love Indiana Jones. But it's just not main TV room worthy until we can get, like, a freaking legit Indiana Jones statue. Because the old Cinema Cat one is not good. The face is terrible. I really wish it was good. God, because it's 1/3. It works so good. And I like Sideshow, but it's more of a hallway type of statue because it's old school, it's outdated. It's not this quality. And I want to keep this main room to the showstoppers, my most impressive pieces that are within this line. Obviously, I'm not bringing in any Marvel, Silicones, or DC. But for the most part, when people come in here, when I'm in here, because that's where I am the majority of my time, I want to be impressed by pieces like this. And I like Star Wars. So I love those movies. But their statues are very mediocre, if you ask me. The best one is Vader by Iron Studios, but in general their statues are just not super impressive, and I think it's just due to the design. I mean, how much better could a Vader bust get? So that's why I'm just like, yeah, I love Star Wars, it's one of the best universes out there, but ultimately Godzilla vs. Kong would be so much more impressive for me. And so I want to put my most impressive pieces, not my favorite movie piece, like my favorite movies or whatever, in here. You know, because I mean, as much as I love the Alien vs. Predator movies, they're not even close to like my top probably 50 movies. You know, my favorite movies are mostly Marvel and, yeah, mostly Marvel, goodness. So if I was doing favorite movies in here, I'd be doing mostly Marvel. You know, it's like Avengers Infinity War, that's my favorite movie of all time. But in here, we're trying to do, obviously, movies I love, but also my most impressive pieces. So I'm just not sure as well doing the half scale with a 1/3. Kind of like, ugh. I think if I do it, I need to put the half scale right there. And then that endo right there. Arnold 1/3 middle, Arnold bust. Or endo on each side. You know, potentially that like endoskeleton, Arnold 1/3, Arnold bust. Just because the way the Arnold head is angled, he would go better there, not right there. Plus, I'd want him being a silicone, not as close to the TV. I mean, in general, I don't use sound on this TV. I always use headphones, because headphones are just better. But still, if I ever do use sound, like I'm sick of wearing headphones, I don't want that sound blasting towards him. Anyways, folks, I am talking too long. Let me know what you guys think of this potential display change and whatnot. And I'll probably be getting rid of all my Maji cases, to be honest. As much as I like Maji cases, these are extremely limited, and with statues getting bigger and bigger, and I want all my displays to match, I think it's best to probably just get rid of all Maji cases. You know, get rid of these two, get rid of that one, change that out to a garage shelf, and eventually get a 1/3 Arnold. And the T1000, I do want it, even though I don't think I think it's overpriced, and I think the portrait needs to be improved. Everything else I like. I like the concept, I like the base, I like the switch outs. And I'm sure in person I'd be happy if I got it, like, yeah, this is awesome. I don't think the detail will match my Prime 1s or ECCs, but I think, you know, from 2 feet away, it won't be as noticeable probably. I really wish Darkseid would just up their game though, considering they're charging $1,700. You know, plus shipping and tax, it's almost $2,000. I'm like, who do they think they are? J&D? But yeah, I do want that T1000, but I'll have to wait and see. I definitely want their Arnold, because that one looks better likeness and detail in the face. And I have to get a 1/3 Arnold eventually. The bust is amazing and an absolute grail, but I do need a 1/3 Arnold in my life eventually. Anyways, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Hope you all enjoyed this video. Hopefully we'll get some statues in soon. If you're looking to buy statues, use the links below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.